everybody wants to see results now, not yesterday, not, in 3 months from now. When someone tells you, well, you're probably going to lose about a pound a week, 2 pounds a week. Then I'm like, wow. So if I want to lose 8 pounds, I got to wait a whole month. No, that shouldn't be. Why? Because the customer gets disillusioned. The client gets, well, I've tried this. And I'm like, look. My goal is to get as much weight off of you in the first week so you can stay motivated, excited.
Welcome back to Real Keto Talk. We're going to have some really real keto talk today, and I'm extremely excited about our guest today. Allow me to introduce Tony Torres. Tony, how are you?
Good. How are you, Kristen?
I'm great. Thank you so much for coming on. Tony, I probably don't have to tell everybody. They can already tell. Tony is in extremely good shape. Tony is the owner of a badass gym in South Florida called Iron Temple Gym, which is amazing. He is a trainer. He trains people for shows. He trains people like you and me. And he has quite an extensive background, and people come to him every day to get into their best shape or to win some big things. So as I'm blabbing about Tony's background, I'm going to let Tony tell us a little better about his background and let everybody know a little more about him.
Awesome. Well, I got into the fitness industry because I watched my grandmother pretty much wither away and leave us, but it wasn't just getting sick and going. It was progressive. And then she was gaining weight, and with the weight came diabetes. And when the diabetes got bad, when it was at its worst, they took us to the hospital. And I remember them telling us, well, she has to get her leg cut off from the knee down. And I'm thinking, I mean, why? They did a couple of surgeries, some veins that she had to replace them, but apparently it didn't work out. And, they cut the knee off. So the leg from the knee down. I remember going back a couple of days later to see her in recovery, and she was missing a piece of her body that she's been with for, 80 plus years. And I'm thinking, how must one feel? Imagine if I lose an arm that I've been with for 40 years. It must feel horrible. And 2 days later, she died. And I was so angry because
sorry.
They made her go through all that, and she, she died anyway. And I remember saying, you know what, I'm not gonna let this happen to anybody else in my family or myself. And I did everything I could. I learned everything I could, every diet, every exercise, everything that had to do with the human body, kinesiology. I studied under Paul Chek, the corrective holistic exercise kinesiology on proper form and how do you go about training the body the right way, not bro science or stuff you find on the internet, but real scientific chiropractic stuff, and then I went into the nutrition portion, and I got like 5 certification on nutrition. But what I found incredible was that there are different ways to eat for different things. So you can have good nutrition, right? So let's say fruit and berries and all, and all these grown things that have great, antioxidants and great vitamins and all these things that make you healthy contain sugar, which kills you, right? So I'm like, well, that's an oxymoron. I'm like, that doesn't work for me. This doesn't make sense. So in looking at all these diets and all these, ways to lose weight and get healthy, I started to pick some things apart. And then eventually I came across the Atkins, which was kind of sort of like a, high fat, keto type stuff. And I'm thinking, wow, this makes sense. And this must taste good too. And it helps people lose weight. But, a couple of years after that, the owner, the creator of Atkins dies.
Mm-hmm. I remember that.
Of health related issues. Yeah. And I'm like, well, this is not going to work. So then I don't know who it was, but they rebranded it, or now Keto came out, which I'm like, wait a minute, but this is a variation of, the Atkins diet. Mm-hmm. So, in this quest to find the best nutrition protocols in my business of bodybuilding and of getting people in shape. I get people in shape for competition, so I put them on a given day, time, hour, and second on a stage at 3% body fat from 12 weeks out. Keto wouldn't work, so I had to learn the diet that worked for that, right? However, I developed a process where I made keto function for that, right? And I think I kind of like I went off the rails here on my background, but I get caught up in.
No, I love it. We want to hear how this all came about, because let's be real about it. There's a lot of people that are under the impression that you cannot be in the bodybuilding world, or you cannot be somebody who wants to work out that way or look that way and do the keto diet. Like, you're just going to be weak and you're never going to be able to incorporate that diet into that lifestyle.
Well, what I found, you can incorporate the keto diet in the bodybuilding lifestyle. However, there comes a time in the process, be it a week and a half, 2 weeks, it's different for every person, where the thyroid starts to slow down because of it. So at that moment, or at that time, give or take, I stick a going and then I take it back away. So although it gets the person out of keto, it keeps them burning fat to get to our goal. There are tips and tricks that I use and other formats that I've created. My keto cycling program, which deals with those, because again, too, people who have jobs that require, the brain to function at high capacity, really, they kind of don't like the keto because it really messes them up. So, I give them a form of hybrid cycling keto where that helps them out a lot, and it's been proven to work for my demographic.
So it sounds like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but one of the things we talk about here is that there's not a one size fits all for everybody out there. So it sounds like that depending on the situation, you are customizing things for people's situations, their lifestyle, their goals, and you don't recommend the exact same diet and cycling plan for everybody.
At some point, it is slightly customizable, only again because people are different metabolisms. They come from different, ethnicities, which have proven to be harder or easier weight gainers or weight loss. But everybody starts on the keto. That is the base, right? So with that base, as we go weekly and they get their check-ins with me on the scale, I can tell if the scale is going down, we're working. If the scale is going down at a different pace, we need to change something. If the scale is not moving at all, either you're cheating or this is not working. We need to do something quickly. So that's why I need the check-ins from people. And then there you have some people, but you're starting everybody on the same thing. So it's not it's not custom. And I tell them, listen, you don't get to custom unless something works or doesn't work, right? And then you have others that are like, but I don't want that diet because I don't want to look like that. And I say, well, you're not going to look like that. You have, and I give them this analogy. I say, hey, listen, from here, Miami to New York, you take the 95. If I want to go to Georgia, I still got to take the 95. I just get off at a different exit.
That's a great analogy. Yeah.
So everybody gets the same diet.
You don't know what to adjust unless you've started something to have some data to work with.
Exactly. I need to know the data and what this does in order to know what to change and to correct.
Yeah. Now tell me this, because I know when you and I talked not too long ago, that you have people that are starting with you from square one. You're not just working with people that are 2 months out from a show. And so when you have somebody new, tell us why, with your background, with everything why did you choose the keto diet in terms of where you start most of your clients?
I chose a keto diet because, let's face it, look, everybody wants to see results now, not yesterday, not, in 3 months from now. When someone tells you, well, you're probably going to lose about 1 pound a week, 2 pounds a week. I'm like, wow. So if I want to lose 8 pounds, I got to wait a whole month. No, that shouldn't be. Why? Because the customer gets disillusioned. The client gets, I've tried this. And I'm like, look. My goal is to get as much weight off of you in the first week so you can stay motivated, excited, and see something that you haven't been able to do. You've done it in 1 week. And if I move in to do that, period, better than any other diet.
That's and it's true. I mean, motivation is a big deal because a lot of people have a pretty large mountain they're looking to climb. I would say it's probably unlikely that most of your clients come in saying, I only need to lose about 5 pounds. That's where I am from my goal. It's probably not most of your clients. And so knowing it's going to be a big, long mountain, you need to have some things that make you have some wins along the way or feel like you're getting momentum. If you have 100 pounds to lose and you're going to lose a pound a week, that's a long road.
Oh yeah, very long. And some people come and they're like, well, I only want to lose 10 pounds. And I tell them right away, I say, listen, the 10 pounds you want to lose was the 10 pounds less that you were 10 years ago. That doesn't look the same now when you lose it. I promise you, when you lose the 10 pounds, you're going to look in the mirror, you're going to come back and you're going to say, well, I think another 5 will be, and it's just like,
yeah. That's where it starts. That's where it starts.
Everybody.
Yep. I love it. Now, when you start clients or even with any of your clients, what is your recommendation for people on keto? What do you recommend in terms of like supplementation and any of those things? Where do you stand on that side of things?
Well, I mean, being that you're getting most of your amino acids from the meats that you keto. So the only vitamins I put my clients on when I'm putting them on keto are their multivitamins, their vitamin D, their vitamin C, and the multivitamins, I have them take 2 per meal. So if they're having 4 meals, they're eating 8 a day. Because I mean, the recommended dosage on the back of a vitamin, 1 a day, is for a person laying in the hospital bed just to survive. That's not us. We're training, we're working, we're stressing, we're going through our daily lives, and we need more than just the recommended dosage, right? So 2 per meal of the multivitamin, multimineral, the vitamin D, the vitamin C. If you're training with weights, I give you an option of having like a pure protein, which has 0 carb, 0 sugar, and 25 grams of protein. And that's pretty much it on the forefront of the vitamin. Now, if they come in, I take this and I take that for this, and I let them stay up.
Yeah. No, that totally makes sense. You gotta, and there are some basic building block things you don't want to be deficient in for sure. Now, what is your feeling on things like, I'm going to bring up a controversial one real quick, but I want to hear your thoughts. What do you say to people that ask you about doing like exogenous ketones or doing some kind of like ketone supplementation specific to that? What's your thoughts on those type of things?
I feel that if it's real food, you don't need anything else. Now, I'm not opposed to, if you like it and it helps us, knock yourself out. But I don't recommend it. I really don't care for it. If I'm always siding with the person. I want to make the client as comfortable as possible. And if that person feels they want to take supplemental keto products, knock yourself out. I don't think you need it. Save your money. If you're having good food, your organic meats, your grass-fed, keto proteins, fantastic. Because it's not deficient in anything. You have your array of BCAAs in your meats, your creatines in your meats, your proteins. I would say, if anything, you can buy an EAA, an essential amino acid powder. Your flavor, cherry, apple, whatever it is. So you put it in your water and you drink it while you work out, because those are the amino acids that we don't make.
Okay, that's a good tip too. So let's go over to the area of working out. And I know obviously this is in your space, and putting aside the people that are already, fully into let's start with the person who isn't working out, regularly, or they're not already fully into it. What do you recommend to your clients that are just starting out in terms of exercising while on the keto diet?
If they're sedentary and haven't done anything, I first start them very, very easily. Like, all I want you to do today is squat down 30 times, deep breaths, 30 times, 5 sets, every 3 hours. That's it. Right? I want to get them moving. I want to get their they're essential movements going. Why? Because you need to squat. You need to sit on a toilet bowl. How else are you going to move your bowels? Right? And if you can't sit on a toilet bowl, you're done. Yeah. Right? You need to get in your car. Not only your car, squat. A car is a squat and a side lunge to get in.
That's right? True. I never thought of it that way. You're right.
If you can't squat, you can't live. Right? Some people, I'm in the gym and I tell them, you need to do 30 squats for me. Can you do that? I don't think I can squat. My doctor doesn't want me to squat. Okay, so do me a favor. I'm going to pull this chair right here. Just sit on the chair for me. She sits down and she gets up. And I'm like, good, do 30 sits. They don't get it. It's and I'm like, just we won't call them squats. You're going to be doing sits, 30 sits a day. So whatever, right? And the second round, like the week after, I have them do the 30 squats, right? And I have them get on the floor on their chest and just get back up. Get on the floor, nice and slow, and get back up. If you can't get up and off the floor, your own self, there's a problem. These are things we used to do as children, like for play. So that in itself, for a sedentary person who's overweight, their body weight alone is enough resistance to create some type of caloric deficit and burning, and even create some atrophy in the muscle, so it can start to repair and grow.
Remember, someone doesn't have to go and spend 2 hours on the treadmill on their first day on the diet.
Not on the first day. No, it's just too much. I want them to come back. I don't want them to be beat up. So it's very gradual. The first 2 weeks are gradual. Most of my clients, 200 pounds and over, only last 13 minutes with me of a 1 hour session. And I ask them every set, are you okay? Yes. Are you okay? And they lie to me. They tell me, yeah, I can do it. And I say, no, you can't. I already know you can't. So do me a favor, go home, come back tomorrow. Because they want to finish. They want to, it's an ego thing, especially the guys. Yeah. Oh, I got this. All right, you got this. All right, do another set. As soon as they start to run, I'm like, you don't got this. Come back. Just you'll get it tomorrow. And you have to be that intuitive and that aware, and be able to calibrate things on the fly when you see things not going right.
That's really good. Now, when you see somebody that's been doing, obviously sometimes people come in, they're just not doing what they're told to do, right? Or they're not trying, or they're not doing the right things. Obviously that adjustment is pretty easy. Do what you're supposed to be doing. But do you ever, I'm sure you see people that are starting, they're doing what they're doing, things are going well, and then maybe they hit a struggle point, or they hit a plateau, or things are sort of slowing down. What do you tell somebody, in terms of, staying motivated and confident, because we all know this is not going to be one linear line, and you're never going to have an adjustment period or a pivot. But also, how do you tell people how to get over those points?
Well, it's look, motivation wears out. So I understand that. But when that happens, the first thing I do is I ask them, what did you do wrong? What did you change? Typically, when that happens, they've cheated. They've gone off the rails, and now they come back and they're unmotivated because they feel bad that they cheated. So if that's the case, I find out what it is, get them back on track, and typically they start to go back again. Now, there are cases where you stall. The body stalls. It's just part of what it does. And the part of when the body stalls, you have to do one of three things. Increase the intensity of the exercise, increase time on cardio, or address the food. If cheating hasn't been going on, right? One of those three things. Very easy stuff. The first thing I do is I'd add 5 minutes to each of their sessions on cardio. So if they're doing 5 days a week of cardio, at 30 minutes, I'll add 5 minutes, which means it's 35, 35, 35, 35. At the end of the week, that's 5 extra minutes times 5 is 25 minutes. That's almost a whole extra cardio session just by adding 5 little minutes, which goes by in a flash. All right. The second part of it would be it's the workout part of it, the weights part of it. You add repetitions. In other words, if you're doing 10, up them. Everything now is 15 reps. Or add more weight, right? Or more time under tension. In other words, if I'm taking 2 seconds to come down and 2 seconds to come up, I'm taking now 4 seconds to come up and 4 seconds to come down, which vastly increases the resistance, the weight, and the caloric burn.
So it sounds like, and these all sound like good suggestions, but it kind of segues into what I wanted to ask you next, which is you obviously are exceptional at seeing the situation and knowing which lever to pull to adjust and make these pivots. This is why people come to you. How important do you think it is, for somebody that wants to reach their goal to have a coach or a trainer or somebody that they're working with along this journey? How big of a factor is that in getting from A to B?
I think I think everyone who's embarking on a weight loss journey or trying to get in shape or trying to reach a goal in life, anything, should get a coach. Should get a coach, hands down. It's the one thing they should do. You know what? If you can't afford it, find the money to do it, because you can learn in one day what it took me 30 years to learn, right? And you skip all the trial and error of trying to do it yourself. I mean, people come to me, I've tried everything. Have you really? How long? 3 years. I haven't lost a pound. Okay. If I help you lose 15 pounds in 30 days, would you next day you didn't try everything? And what I do is I say, listen, if you don't lose 15 pounds with me in 30 days, I'll give you back your money. And she goes, okay. So I said, give me the money first. I'll put it in a shoebox in the gym. And I said, your money's going to be here. We're going to weigh you. We're going to do everything daily in 30 days. You don't get 15. Your money's there. You can take it yourself. Because it's not about the money for me. I don't need the money to spend it. I need the money so that you can show up. Because a person will do something more for what they're going to lose than for what they're going to gain.
Well, they got to have skin in the game, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
for sure.
Right. You pay attention. Those who pay attention.
Yeah. It's, they say like people that get stuff for free, it just intrinsically doesn't seem to have the value, right?
That's
So
right.
they don't even, it could be the best thing ever. It could be really worth $1 million, but if you didn't even have to put $1 into it, yeah.
Yeah, because their mentality is, well, if I don't go, I don't lose anything. So why show up?
Or I can do it anytime. It's free whenever I'll show up one day. I would imagine too that people because anybody that's dieted for a long time, anybody that's done it, that people always say people that need to diet have no willpower. They probably have a lot of willpower, but they've probably failed a lot. You know what I mean? Or they have a lot of mindset problems, right?
Sure.
People get very diet obsessed and all of these things. And the big thing we talk about here is how to take something from being top of mind to second nature. Because if you want to make it a lifestyle, some people will be like, I'm going to zone in on it, suck it up for the next 60 days, and then I'll never have to worry about this again, which we know isn't right.
Right. They may have had the wrong diet to begin with.
They probably did have many wrong diets to begin with.
Yeah. It looked like fruit. For instance, every single woman that I've trained, oh, I eat great. I eat healthy. I eat fruit. I eat my yogurt and blah, blah, blah. And yeah, you know what? That's healthy for some people who want to be healthy, but that's not conducive to weight loss.
Yeah, those two things can be mutually exclusive.
Right. And fruit can be great for an immediate after workout post meal, because your muscles need the glycogen, the sugar in the fruit to recover, repair, and fill out, right? Yeah. But have fruit at 9:00 at night and you're becoming fat.
Yeah, and it's also a thing with, I feel like that people have a lot of opinions out there. I heard a guy talk about keto, and he talks about the keto cops out there. And, people talking about, like, if you don't do keto exactly this way, like, you're never going to lose a pound. If you have dairy, you're horrible, or you need to have dairy, you're never going to lose. There's all sorts of opinions out there. You got to quiet the noise, for sure.
And you know what? Anybody can say whatever they want about the way I do my thing and the way I work. At the end of the day, I get the results you can't get. And, if you have a problem with that, then that's something you need to deal with, not me. My clients are happy with me. They're paying me very, very good money to do it. And at the end of the day, I don't care what anybody thinks. All I care is what the people are paying me to give them, enjoy what I'm giving them, and get to where they want to be. That's it.
Well, they always say, like, don't take money advice from a person who's broke, right? And it's the same thing in this sphere, right? Don't take workout and diet advice maybe from somebody that isn't getting the consistent results or living the lifestyle that you want to live. And so I think results is definitely one of the better indicators of who you should be choosing to invest your time, your your mind and your heart and your resources with, for sure.
That's right.
Now, let me ask you this. Say that somebody finds somebody really good. Let's use Tony as an example. But like, for example, I live in Arizona, right? And Tony's down in South Florida. Tony, do you ever work with people? Can you do any work with people virtually?
I do work with people virtually. I require, them to do the work they need to do. In other words, I don't want to have to call you on Sunday and say, where are my pictures? Right? I don't like babysitting. I'm not a babysitter. Right? I need you to do what I asked you to do for you to get what you need to get. This is not for me. This is for you. And if you don't give 100%, you're not going to get it back. If you get 50, that's all you're going to get. And I know I've been doing this so long that if I tell you that we eat this and this until Sunday, you're going to lose 4 pounds on Sunday, and you lose 1, you have a problem. You didn't do what I asked you to do.
Yeah.
It doesn't, well, knock on wood, to this day, I have not had someone who has done it 100% and not lost what they were supposed to lose.
I love that. All right, now, so since we're getting close to the end of our time, I'm going to do something I like to do. I hope you'll find this fun, and we'll do it quickly. I'm going to do the keto lightning round. Some of the everybody wonders about keto questions. I want to hear your thoughts on them. Okay, so 1, what's your thoughts on intermittent fasting?
I like it.
You do
like it? I like it. I think it purifies the body. I think it cleans your body, and I think it tests your strength and your willpower.
Now, in the midst of intermittent fasting, what's your thoughts on I'm using a brand name, but like a bulletproof coffee and for your mornings?
If it has calories, it's not intermittent fasting. So if you put butter in it, guess what? It's not intermittent fasting. If you want to have coffee, then you can, but not with butter, because that's not fasting. That's satiating your belly. That's hungry.
All right.
You're defeating the purpose.
All right, now, so beverages, water. How much water should somebody be drinking if they are on the keto diet?
I always go for ladies, at least a gallon a day. For guys, 2 to 3, if you're depending on how hard you're training. If you're a bodybuilder, you're training, hours in the gym, and you're getting it 3 gallons minimum for the guys. If you're a young lady training, a gallon. If you're a sedentary person just going into it and you're thin or what have you, and you really have nothing, then, up to a gallon is good, but no less than 3 quarts.
Okay. Now, how about for working out on when you're fasting or not fasting?
Both.
All right.
Both, because when you're fasting, working out creates more of a deficit. It's harder because you're running on fumes, but after you train, you feel so much better. The part is just getting up and getting in, and doing it. It doesn't end up being as bad as one thinks. But the advantage of that is you get the body when it's at the low. So then you start killing everything that's laying out there as you expend energy training in the gym and doing your cardio.
Okay. Carb refeed days or cheat days, yay or nay, or when?
Well, when people come to me and they're like, well, do I get a cheat day? I'm like, you've been cheating for 40 years of your life. That's why you're like this. No, you don't get a cheat day. Not until you reach your goal, right?
Yes.
And then you can celebrate with a cheat day. But after the cheat day, you have to get back to brass tacks and get back to what got you here, which was the diet, right? Refeed days. Refeed days are what I consider to be, some people take refeed days and they go gorge on pizza. That's not a refeed day. A refeed day is what you're eating normally, maybe another chicken breast on top, maybe another half a cup of rice on top, so that you can get an influx of what you normally get, just to stimulate thyroid production and stimulate more fat burning.
But you're not going to the junkiest. There's no Twinkies on the cheat day.
Twinkies got you here, baby.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, exactly. All right, last question on the lightning round, and this is one that just comes up a lot because, again, people have opinions. Are you dairy yay or dairy nay on the keto diet?
Milk is for babies. Milk is for babies. I mean, look, we're taking vitamin D. It's important for the body, but we can get it from the sun or pills. Now, if you have to have milk, and some people are really thinking about their milk, I tell them, look, have a skim milk, but it's really not conducive to what we need.
How about cheese? Cheese yay, cheese nay?
I like cheese. I'm a mouse. However, one slice of cheese could be, 100 calories if you're not careful, right? And then you see it and you're having that one thing and you just have a half another. But then when it's time to eat, now you get over your caloric allowance for the day for that meal. So it's very, very dangerous. It's very dangerous. It can set you back. Now, if you want to have cheese for your cheat day or refeed, then that's a viable option. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Well, this has been really good, Tony. This is great information, great advice. You get such good results for your clients. So everybody's very lucky to hear from you. And I know people are going to get a ton out of this. Now, if people want to seek you out and find where to follow you or where to get in contact with you, where is the best place for people to find you?
They can catch me on Instagram at IFBB Pro Tony Torres. They can check out my challenge at www.spartanbodychallenge.com. I'm on Facebook as IFBB Pro Tony Torres as well. And
we will link all of those below so everybody can find you easily through those links. But Tony, thank you so much for coming on. This has been awesome, and I hope you will let me call you again to come on at another time, and I can ask you even more questions.
Absolutely, whenever you want, dear.
Thank you so much. All right, Tony, you have a wonderful day. We will be chatting soon.
You too. Bye-bye.